Volunteerism is a very important aspect of career development. It provides experience, it gives you the ability to understand how organizations work, what it means to be a team player, and just to introduce you to the whole idea of how to work in a workplace, especially when you're new from school. So for me, leveraging on volunteerism was really important. While I was in school, I took the opportunity to ensure that I could get as much experience as possible. It's not always we're looking at the money, we are looking at how do we build ourselves, how do we use opportunities to build our CV. So what I did was volunteer with several different kind of organizations. I volunteered with my school. We had a TV station, a local TV station, which I used to volunteer with. So I used to shoot certain aspects of the evening news. That gave me the experience in communication, since I have mainly a communications background, and that really helped my CV look good. I actually used to volunteer also with young children, sort of like in a daycare. That was also very exciting for me and helped to further or polish a passion I had with working with children. And it gives you hands-on experience on what to do and what to say and how to behave and what to expect when you're formally working with children. And I actually have volunteered in a place like a shop before. I took turns. I would manage a shop for an organization that was trying to raise funds for marginalized young people. So it introduced me to the space of working with vulnerable people, what it entails. But also I got experience having to learn how to handle money and customers and marketing, etc. That's an interesting question, because my experience in volunteerism actually enhanced my prospects to get a job in the fields of communication. Because I really didn't have an SRH background, it was more of communication. But because of, firstly, all the volunteer work I had done, I was one of the first people to start working at the university campus radio station. And at the time, I worked with people like Bulare and the current GFA boss, Keto Kreku, and all of those people. We were all just young people who were enthusiastic, and we volunteered our time. There was no remuneration. But that experience, plus what I had when I did my master's, plus being able to volunteer at a TV station, meant that by the time I came back, I actually had offers from very key media houses here in Ghana who wanted me to come and do one thing or the other. That's a whole different conversation, because at the time I came, there were children involved, and there were, you're a woman, so you weigh your options. So I think that those volunteer opportunities did give me an opportunity to advance what I want. It's just that I veered off into something else. And it has also been very helpful there, because wherever I found myself in the sexual reproductive health space, I'm always able to put a communication eye to it, whether it's for the camera work, whether it's for print or audio visuals, and it has been very helpful. It has enhanced me, and it has made people I work with understand and accept the fact that beyond what I do as a program officer, I can also bring a communication aspect to it. Okay, I know we're in a very trying time in our country's histories, not just us. I just saw, yesterday, that very staple foods in the UK, like milk, egg, and cheese, had reached a 14-year high this year. So what we're going through in Ghana is not unique to other countries. It's just how each country handles it that becomes different. So money is very critical for our survival. I understand the need. As a young person, there's a need to make money to survive and, of course, to move on. But we have to critically look at what things we need to invest in that will help us to be able to move forward. So as hard as things may be, if there are opportunities to volunteer where it may mean you have to find some money yourself to be able to take advantage of those opportunities, for me that is very important. Because of financing issues, you may not be able to go every day as you wanted to. But if even the person understands that you can come in 2 days a week and they can rely on you for those 2 days a week, you're still going to gain experience and be able to put on your CV, I volunteered, or I did work here, which enhances your worth and other opportunities that become available to you. So I would say, please don't look at the money. Please look at the spirit of volunteerism, which is also to further your career, is to contribute to society, and ensure that you can begin to fill a gap. It's very fulfilling when out of your own self-will, you identify a problem and tell yourself, this is where I can make a difference. By the time you end, the end of the day, you feel a sense of how do I put it, of achievement and accomplishment, which is very critical for your personal well-being. Okay, so I'm not going to take this question from the angle of the myths and misconceptions. I'm going to take it more from the angle of what are the disadvantages that we need to kind of still look at and kind of want to surmount. So for instance, there's certain places when you go, you realize that your services are not being used as it should be. The volunteerism becomes, okay, you are the person who buys lunch, or you are the person who does all the menial jobs. In that case, it's really for you as the person volunteering to decide. Are there still opportunities available? If not, that's not the place you want to find yourself. I've worked with young people who started out volunteering, and when they started out, they were doing a lot of menial jobs, etc. And it was just this young lady. At a point, I asked her, "Why don't you stop this job? I mean, why don't you stop?" And she goes, "Auntie Adu, I really think I like this field of work, and so I want to stay and then see what opportunities." But now she has become so invaluable to them that despite the fact that she still does them, she doesn't do the jobs as she used to, it's reduced. But she does so much, she has had opportunity to do so much more work, which is fulfilling and will build her as an individual and build her expertise in the area that she wants. So in a situation like this, it has paid off. Sometimes people don't have the patience for it, and I'll encourage people, please be patient a little bit. If you're focused on wanting to achieve something, you should tell yourself that despite the odds, you will go the extra mile. It's not always the path that we may see. Sometimes you think, oh, you're just going in there. As soon as you go there, they should start giving you all kinds of, it normally will build up in a certain way. So don't think maybe a bit of the myth that it's a waste of time, it's a waste of effort, it's a waste of investment. No, it definitely is not. Between leadership and volunteerism, leadership comes to you when you understand the situation you find yourself in, when you understand the issues you're addressing, when you understand what needs to be done in order to be able to take leadership in any particular situation. When you volunteer, you get insight into, let's take it for instance, you're interested in some kind of plant, okay, or let's say farming, let me say farming in general. When you volunteer in a farm, you begin to understand what goes into farming. You begin to understand what it takes to be successful or not successful. So when you find yourself in a position or you have an opportunity to work in farming, you now have that added advantage. That puts you ahead of the squad in terms of what it needs. You become a natural leader because first of all, everybody realizes you are the go-to person for information. Okay, so people begin to look up to you. Once people are able to look up to you, the onus on you then is to be able to provide the guidance to ensure that whatever you're doing is successful. You may not have gotten that additional information if you did not do volunteer work. So there may not always be a direct correlation, but there is a correlation when you look for it. When you get into volunteerism, you acquire skills and knowledge that will improve you, that will give you an added advantage over the next person. That makes you a natural leader because of the knowledge you have acquired. But it also enhances you as a leader to be able to support and to be able to provide the guidance that is needed in delivering on any project or in any situation. So my final words is that I will encourage as much as possible that volunteerism, where possible, is something that should not just be seen as a waste of time or useless investments. It should be seen as a tool that helps you build yourself, that helps you contribute to society. If you are sound in mind and happy, after you have been able to contribute to society, you can look back and say, I actually did this and it helped this person. You are fulfilled. When you're a fulfilled person, you're already confident. When you're confident, it just opens so many doors for you emotionally, physically, etc. So see it not only as something that builds you as an individual, but as a stepping stone or a tool to make sure that it enhances and then shapes the careers that you set for yourself. So let's be intentional about the volunteering we do. Let it be things that we have a passion in, things that we aspire to, things that we know that naturally when we do, we are able to contribute of ourselves fully, effortlessly, but also open ourselves up to be able to learn. That way, when we find ourselves in the space, we'll find that we become excellent people.